Are you ready to make your own soap recipe? In this video, I'm going to share with you how to use a online free soap calculator. Okay, let's go to it now. Okay, basically, when you do the soapcalc.net calculator, this is the result you're going to get. Okay, this is the formula that I developed myself. Okay, so I'll go through one by one, and I'll show you what's the important thing. Okay, so this is the end result that you get. So you can get all your water, okay, your lye, okay, in pound, ounce, or gram, the oil, how much as well, and the fragrance, if you want to use your fragrance percentage wise of the oil. Okay, down here they have the different individual ingredients. Okay, so number one we have right here is coconut oil, olive oil, rice bran oil, beeswax. Okay, total 100%. Okay, so I prefer to use percentage because you can work out ounce or grams, depends on which area you live in the world. Okay, for me personally, I live in Australia, so I will very familiar with using grams. Okay, but for you it might be different. Okay, so when you formulate your own recipe and you like to share with other people, just leave out the grams and ounce, just use percentage only. Okay, now the top here is, if you're new to soap making, you have no idea what it is mean. Okay, but I'll explain it. Okay, one by one. Okay, so this depends how fast I explaining. Could be a long video. Okay, but I'll try to cut short, precise, so you can make your own recipe. Okay, I go to the soap count now. Basically, this is the soap calculator, the interface. Okay, so they have 8 steps altogether. Okay, 8 steps altogether. Okay, 7 steps basically, but you follow, okay, from 1 to 7. Okay, okay. First thing is NaOH. Okay, stands for the type of lye that you're using. Okay, for most cold process soap, we use nitrogen hydroxide. Okay, NaOH. Okay, for hot process or liquid soap, they could use potassium hydroxide. Okay, so for our part, for most people that into soap making, you will use sodium hydroxide. Okay, NaOH. Okay, next thing, number 2 here. Okay, let me zoom in like that. Okay, now we want to look at the weight. Okay, the total amount of the oil that we use. Okay, now begin with the end in mind. Okay, so you need to know your mole capacity. Okay, where are you gonna put all these ingredients later on when you finish all your mixing? Okay, where are you gonna put all these ingredients to make soap? Okay, so your formulation dictate by the amount, okay, of whatever you use at the end. Okay, so I will always say begin with the end in mind. So for me personally, I use a loaf mold, and the capacity of that is 1.2 grams kilogram. Okay, so 1200 grams. So let me write it down. But I can't use that directly because this is calculate just the oil only. Okay, so the oil here, I can only use 800. Just be 800 to 850, depends on what I use. Okay, as and other ingredients, additional ingredients. But to be safe for me, so I don't want it to be overflow, right? So I use 800. Okay. Now the water that you're gonna use. Okay. So the water we use to dissolve the lye solution, the lye crystal. Okay. The default that soap count use, they use very high percentage of water to oil ratio. Okay, percentage of water of oil. The first one right here, don't use that. Okay, very confusing. Okay, what I want you to learn is water to lye ratio. Okay, how much water are you gonna use to dissolve fully the lye? Okay, now 1:1. Okay, ratio like that, right? Is the minimum. Okay, okay. Very hard for you to dissolve that lye solution with just that. So 1:1 ratio is no good. The lower amount is 1.5 to 1. Okay, so that's the lowish range. Okay, the medium range is 2:1. The high range 2.5 to 1 ratio. Okay, so you use 2.5 water, distilled water, to dissolve the actual lye, or one part lye. Okay, so 2.5 part water to 1 part lye. Okay, that is what all it means. Okay, now when you first start out, use 2:1. Okay, so use two part water, distilled water, to dissolve 1 part lye. Okay, that's all it is. But the more experience you get, okay, you will lower the water ratio down, because the more water in your soap, you have to cool the soap longer. Okay, so that's why I personally would use around 1.5. Okay, 1.5 or up to 2. That's my guideline. Okay, so that's a medium, low to medium water to lye ratio. Okay, so don't use the other two. Very confusing. Okay, what you want to know is how much water you're gonna use to dissolve the lye, and that is your lye solution. Go to our next part. Number 4 here, super fat. Okay, percentage wise. Okay, now the lye solution that we made with our water and lye mixture, it helps to dissolve the fat, to convert it to basically the water and the water lye solution we made is going to dissolve the fat, the oil, okay, that we use in our recipe. And that creation, that clash of two chemicals, okay, lye is very high alkaline, okay, or base, okay, it's around 14. If you do a pH test on the lye, okay, pH paper test, the reading should be very high, 13 to 14, okay, very dangerous stuff. But when you mix with oil or fats, okay, fat is around 6 to 8 pH, acidic, okay, so the two combined together create a chemical reactions, what we call a saponification process. Okay. Now, if we leave the super fat, okay, at 5%, which means like the lye would not fully dissolve, react chemically, the saponification process will only release 5% of the fat alone. Okay, so we give us a buffer, okay, a headroom, so to speak. So lye could be dangerous is drying on the skin, right? So we want something that is safety barrier, safety measure, okay? So for a normal soap, okay, 5 to 8%, okay? So 5 to 8%, okay, in our cold processing soap. But it depends on the recipe as well. But some people use that range, okay? But when you get more experience, you can develop your own recipe, okay? But that is the range, okay? Soap count, this program here, default to 5%, and that's fine, okay? When you first start, formulate your formula, that's a good start, okay? Start from there. Now, the fragrance, you can leave it alone. I will show you another calculator that calculate the fragrance that are safe to use, okay? Because I mainly use essential oil, okay? But depends on what you want to use. You can use that default there, or you leave it 0, okay? But just if you use fragrance oil, use that per kilo, okay? I'll leave it there like that, okay? So let's zoom out. Now, number 5. Okay, so your soap qualities, okay, they go down here, your hardness of the soap. So each oil has a different saponification value, okay? So, for example, the common one we have is olive oil, okay? So, go down here, olive oil. Olive oil, okay? So they give you all these qualities that we look for, okay? So hardness, cleansing. Olive oil is not very cleansing, right? No cleansing at all. Conditioning, very high, okay? Bubbly, 0. Creamy, yes. Iodine, okay? INS is stand for the INS stand for iodine number saponification, okay? So that's just an old way of say that the soap can make good or bad saponification process, okay? All this here, all the bottom here, lauric, myristic, palmitic, steric, ricinoleic, oleic, inolic, linolenic, okay? Those are the acid, okay, of the actual fat that we're using, okay? So you can press on this here and just go through the information explaining what it is in Wikipedia, okay? So you can, in your own time, learn about all this acid, okay? So in our process of making soap, right, the acid and alkaline, high alkaline will make soap. A soap, a saponification process, the end result is salt. Soap is another form of salt. Okay, so you can read up on your own there. So now let's ask formulate a formula. Okay, to add in a formula, we just say olive oil, boom, and we say, for example, we want 60% olive oil. Okay, and I'll keep it simple. Add an oil, coconut oil. Coconut, see, coconut 76 degrees. That's the common oil that we use. Add, okay, and that we want to use 30%. Okay. What else oil do we need? We want shea butter. Shea butter. We add. Let's see, 5%. And what else do we want? We want jojoba. jojoba oil. Straight palm oil. Okay, at 5%. The palm oil is a controversial oil. Okay, some people are vegan, so they don't use anything with do with animal. Okay, that is a personal thing. I'm not against vegan. Not against people that have eat meat or use tallow, but for our purpose, we want to make soap. Okay, for you to experiment. Okay, I'm not suggesting you don't do this, don't do that. I'll let you decide. Okay, for me, this is the formula roughly. Okay, I just make this up as I go along in this video. Okay, so that is our thing. So it's add up to 100%. Calculate recipe. Okay, and we'll give you the grams, all that stuff, right? Then you press view. You press view or print recipe, and that will give us the recipe, a good one or not. We have to decide. Okay, but I'll show you what is a good recipe. Okay, so right now we just put on print. Now it come up. Okay, so this one is a good recipe. I can see. How do I know that? I look at the INS number. Okay, a good recipe that you can make soap out of is 160. Okay, anywhere around 160 INS number, it will give you good soap. Okay, now it give you all these ingredients in grams as well. So as the beginning of the video, I'll share with you my recipe. So this one, hardness is on average. Okay, so look on the side here, cleansing, good, conditioning, in that range. So 44 to 69, we are 57. Bubbly 20, creamy 18. So this recipe is not creamy, but it's a good soap. It will still can create soap with this recipe. Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, but the aim is 160 INS. Okay, also this show you the percentage, the top here, saturated fat or unsaturated fat ratio. Okay, so the rule of thumb. Okay, rule of thumb when you create your own recipe is 40% should be saturated fat. Okay, solid fat. Okay, but rules are meant to be broken. Okay, so one example is Castile Soap. Okay, 100% olive oil. Okay, so but for beginner, when you create your own recipe, stick to this rule. Okay, 40% is saturated fat. Okay, solid fat in your recipe, and you can't go wrong. Okay, you will create a hard soap. Okay, that are usable within the range. So keep that in mind. Okay, when you create your own soap. Okay, you can fill in the additive that you want and your notes. Okay, and you can print this out. Okay, but me personally, I will write it down in my notebook, so I have everything in one place. Okay, so for you, you might print this out and keep in a folder. So you have your own recipe, name it, up to you. Okay, and you can modify this slowly so you get the right recipe that you want. Okay, so that's it, my friend. That's how you have your own recipe. If you find a recipe online, or my recipe, for example, or a book somewhere, please do go back in here, okay, and use the soap count to double check. Okay, sometimes people make mistake. Okay, so do your own research. When you see a formula, go through the whole process again. Okay, go through SOAPER again. Okay, they either give you the percentage in ounce. They usually don't give you the percentage. Okay, most recipe they don't give you the percentage, but you can double check. Okay, you can fill all the grams. Okay, so change this to grams only, and let's fill it up. Okay, for example, 500. 200, 50. So you want to make to 800. You have to calculate the total amount of oil first. Okay, the weight of the oil. Then you calculate again. Okay, it'll give you the percentage. Okay, so that's how you test any recipe. Okay, before you actually commit to it. Okay, even my recipe, other experienced people recipe, as long as you know how to use this calculator, every time there's a new recipe, you have to do this. Okay, so it will give you. Okay, click on view it again. Okay, this one, the INS is 146. Okay, worse off than the other recipe that we did. Okay, so that's how you play with it. Yeah, that's how you play with SOAPER. Okay, my name is Travis Chow. If you see this video helpful for you, please do subscribe to my channel so I can motivate me to share more. Okay, happy shopping, and I'll see you next time with another video. Bye.